Let's podcast. We are at ACC Kickoff in Charlotte. We are not inside Eford Studios in downtown Raleigh. We are always brought to you by Copiers Plus. And let's just get right down to it. Alongside Joe Giglio is Roddy Jones. I'm Joe Ovies. Roddy, what's up, man?
I've had a great time, guys. Happy Bill Belichick Day to all those who celebrate.
Well, Bill Belichick Day has been soiled.
Has it?
Oh, we have breaking news.
Somebody stole the nameplate. One of these.
No.
Like we have these little OG media, right? Somebody apparently took the nameplate from the breakout room. Now look, there's a code to this.
Come on, man. What are we doing?
As somebody,
you can take it. It's just
as somebody who has taken many things from the ACC, right down to a doormat.
Apparently, the doormats are like hot.
Dude, the doormats are the
commodities.
hotness. So I've taken a doormat. We have our little collection of acrylics that we get from ACC Hospitality. We take things, okay? But we're
not
wait
above
until the end.
You have to.
So
early bird gets the worm.
I feel like that's a perfect way to start today with, y'all, somebody stole the Bill Belichick nameplate before the man ever sat down. Now, does somebody need to identify Bill Belichick? I think we kind of know who he is, right?
Great point.
So anyway, give me your take on all of this, man. Because we've been cutting to a lot of these, but this has easily been one of the weirder ones.
No doubt. There's increased security here.
Yes.
For people who want the picture painted. There's two levels here. There's the downstairs level where a bunch of radio is. There's upstairs where the press conference is, and then there's even an upstairs. And in each level, there's like levels of security. There's people making sure you've got your credential. This is the first time that the escalators have been roped off. Multiple checkpoints, bottom and top of escalators. They're checking your credentials. And there's a buzz. So when Bill Belichick walks through, there's not a ton of coaches in the ACC, to be honest, that get stopped for pictures very much. Dabo would probably be the other one.
Yeah.
But Bill Belichick's been stopped a number of times. It's very cool, though. I mean, sitting down and talking to a man who's won 8 Super Bowls, 6 as a head coach, is pretty surreal.
Yeah, and it's been interesting. It's been a running theme for me at ACC Kickoff. It started on Tuesday, where you're seeing Ron Rivera here representing Cal, Frank Reich. Later in the podcast, we did promise a coach named Bill, who coached in the NFL, who coached Tom Brady, and is now coaching in the ACC.
And it's O'Brien.
It's a Bill.
Okay. Yep.
No,
we will deliver.
Yes.
We will deliver on this. And you have Bill O'Brien. Like you see these NFL guys, and it's been an interesting kind of almost evolution of where the college game is now. It used to be there's no way an NFL guy is going to come back to college. But college is so much like the NFL now with general managers, budgets, all this other kind of stuff. It makes sense that they're probably more comfortable doing this now.
No doubt. And I think when you see how the college landscape has changed, I think the NFL guys sort of feel like they have, because of the experience, have a leg up on some of the college guys that are having to learn how to deal with locker room dynamics when players are making more than coaches, how to deal with locker room dynamics when the player pay disparity is so great. So it does feel like while we've seen not a migration, we've seen a lot of college coaches jump to the NFL because of it. NFL coaches are like, hey, we kind of get to do that. And like Bill Belichick told us, I actually get more time with the players on the field because they're here year-round and they're more eager to learn and they don't have the bad habits of the NFL guys. So in some ways, I think he's enjoying getting his hands on these guys.
Here's a question, though. Schedule's what it is.
Yes, it is.
I know Giglio's hyped on the schedule. How good are they going to be, though?
That's the $1 million question, $10 million question. How much are they paying? $20 million question is what I've heard for the roster.
Yeah.
It's a good question. As long as the roster from a talent standpoint is comparable to the middle of the league. So pick your average ACC team this year. As long as North Carolina has that, with that schedule and that coaching staff, should be a top part of the league team. If the roster turns out to be a better than average ACC team, then I think they will have them punching better than their talent. So I don't know. There's questions throughout. There's 70 new players. Thing that I do know, I think the wide receiver room is going to be pretty good.
Sure.
Kobe Paysor, Jordan Shipp. I think the running back room's got enough talent. Don't know about the offensive line. Don't know about the quarterback. A lot of questions on defense. But I do think the coaching and situational football should be really good as well.
Hold up. North Carolina and a lot of questions on defense. Where have I heard that before?
Maybe. I think we talked about it once or twice in the past. But I mean, look, I think Bill Belichick would love to have a Bo Atkinson,
of course,
on that defense.
I feel like I owe you the opportunity to brag about your Yellow Jackets. I feel like every year I'm asking you, like, when will Georgia Tech be back to relevance? Well, here we are.
I have actually pumped more brakes on the Yellow Jackets.
Have you?
Not because I don't think they're good. No, just because I want them to move in silence. I don't want them to. I don't want them to. Exactly. I don't want them to have all the expectations heaped on them. Georgia Tech should be very good, man.
It's too late, right?
This should be very good. Haynes King coming back has to stay healthy. He has not done that in his first 2 years at Georgia Tech. But they've got Aaron Philo, and they feel really good about him.
Yeah,
Jamal Haynes at running back has to stay healthy. They've brought in some guys behind him, so he's not going to take as much wear and tear. And the receiver group with Eric Rivers coming over and Malik Rutherford coming back should be very, very good. Defensively, they've got some simple fixes to say, but I think there is substantial improvement to be had just by being better, not letting teams score touchdowns in the red zone, being better, creating disruptive plays. They were the worst red zone touchdown defense in the conference. They were one of the worst in terms of creating tackles for loss and sacks, and one of the worst creating turnovers in the conference. If you can correct those three things with a new defensive coordinator coming over and Blake Gideon, then with that schedule, I think this could be a special year. And I think 10 wins is absolutely on the table. And here's the thing. My mantra is win 10 and you're in.
Yeah.
Not to the ACC championship game necessarily, but the college football playoff.
Fair.
If you're an ACC, if you win 10 games, you lose to Clemson, lose to Georgia, you probably are playing in the ACC championship game, and you are most likely in the college football playoff.
It's still Clemson's league, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's Clemson. There's a drop. There's a tier with probably Miami, SMU, slight gap, and then I think it's Louisville, Georgia Tech right there together.
Interesting that you haven't brought up Florida State yet. Or is that just one of those, like, who the hell knows?
I put them in the Carolina category.
Who knows, right.
Schedule-wise, they should be a 7-8 win team.
Yeah.
But when you're bringing in as many guys as they did a year ago and as they do this year, you just don't know. And when that thing turned on them, and it turned quick, it turned big time.
Yeah.
I do think from a construction standpoint, there's more proven production this year, especially on the offensive side. But, I mean, how much do you guys believe in Thomas Castellanos is
I do.
a good question.
Joe does.
And I think there's reason to. The flashes were there, but it wasn't sunshine and rainbows last year.
Roddy, we appreciate it.
Tough.
We're actually going to catch up a little bit more this season. Because you're
let's do it.
doing a lot of ACC stuff this year.
Oh,
right?
yeah. EJ Manuel and I have an ACC football podcast that we'll be doing twice a week, so check it out.
Cannot wait. All right, Roddy Jones, we appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
Housekeeping always brought to you by Enovana. Check them out online at enovana.com.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
We've got the Sports Podcast Festival coming your way August 23rd. We are officially under a month out from the start of the college football season. So what better way to kick it off than with us at the Rialto, along with Split Zone Duo and Big Screen Sports. OG Light in the house, Home Field in the house with an exclusive shirt, and, of course, a lot more merch. I cannot think of a better way to get things going. And we'll have a night zero at Bond Brothers East Side the night before with our friends Michael Felder and Matt Brown. And OG Light will be in the house for both of those events. Get hype.
Ice cream will be around for Sports Podcast Festival. I have been told, Jared's usually in a kid-friendly environment, but at the Rialto, while also kid-friendly, the brown liquor can be mixed.
Let's go. I can't think of even more reasons to go to the Sports Podcast Festival. Also, a reminder, you can go to ogtrianglemediashop.com to take advantage of our summer pop-up. We added a new shirt. Speaking of OG Light, big thanks to Michael. He put together the most ridiculous design with the After Dark owl on the back of that shirt. So you can go check that out. Comfort colors, pocket tee, and, of course, a tank top, all at ogtrianglemediashop.com. All of our ACC kickoff coverage and our ACC coverage this upcoming season is brought to you by our friends Bloom & Blinds. We will have After Darks this football season brought to you by Bloom & Blinds. We'll have After Darks for that NC State ECU game. We'll have After Dark for the North Carolina TCU game. It's a big game. We're going to have an After Dark, and we're going to revolutionize live streaming on YouTube by taking phone calls after a game.
Never been done before.
So big thanks to Bloom & Blinds. Check them out online at 919-980-9815. Today's show is a little bit different. We're just kind of putting things together. We're going to have some Carolina players. We're going to give you a bill that coach Tom Brady, who's an ACC coach now, Dave Doeren, Manny Diaz, some state players, some Duke players, and we're all just going to kind of run that through for the rest of the podcast. So what we'll do is give you one big, long, brought to you by...
We need to get Rand to create a jingle for the brought to you by.
Of course, you mentioned Two Roosters. Go check them out, tworoosters.com. Our flavor ends next week. July 31st is approaching. Our flavor goes away after that day. So you need to go to Two Roosters and go check that out. Also, big thanks to Roback. Look at me, Joe.
I know. So much progress.
Look at what I am wearing a Roback. I've had many compliments.
Look at us.
I've had many compliments on the solid color Roback. And they're like, yo, where do I get one of these? I'm like, it's exclusive. I'm sorry. Maybe
However,
next time.
There's a lot of other options at Roback. I just saw an email that they had a 30% off sale.
They do.
A couple of different selected items. So go check them out. And if it's a full price item, use our promo code OG20.
OG20. Go to roback.com. Big thanks to Miller Lending. All the money that you're saving. It's the summer of savings here on Ovies and Giglio. We're saving money with Roback polos. We are going to save you money on closing costs. There are no closing costs with Miller Lending. Check them out online at millerlending.com/theog or call them directly at 919-447-3377. You talk about corporate champion synergy. You refinance with Miller Lending. Not only are you going to get a Raleigh Wine Shop gift basket when you take that thing closed, you will also get an exclusive Roback party pack from Joe Giglio.
Yes.
So take
Get
the
over
close.
there.
Do the thing.
Close it out. Let's go.
Do the thing. Call Miller Lending today, 919-447-3377 or millerlending.com. Speaking of housing, you use Miller Lending to go ahead and finance your house. And I know that there have been some people hesitant to buy a house because the interest rates might be too high. You're anticipating rates coming down. But here's the thing. If you anticipate rates coming down, so is everybody else. So the minute the rates do come down, there's going to be a frenzy for that house you might be interested right now. So contact Hometown Realty. See what incentives might exist. Finance with Miller Lending. When the rates come down in the future, you're not sweating it, and you got the house that you wanted. It all starts by visiting our friends at Hometown Realty, myhtr.com. We're a one-stop shop. You're closing. You've bought that house. You know where you go? You go to Whitaker and Hammer. Check them out, wh.lawyer, attorneys and counselors at law. You're so happy that you've got this house. You're hyped. You've closed it. Everything's good to go. You're moving in. How do we celebrate? Well, it's time to put that kitchen to work with our friends at the Butcher's Market.
Yeah.
So check them out, Butcher's Market, the Butcher's Market. They've got all sorts of amazing pre-made meals to make life easy for you. But they will also be the spot that they'll have everything you need for tailgating purposes. The meats, the charcoal, the seasoning, and most importantly, at the Lake Boone location and the Raleigh location on Falls and Millbrook, OG Light, because you need those things for your tailgate.
I never realized how much the ACC football logo looks like a New York Jets logo. So you have Parcells. You have Belichick right now at the podium on the screen behind you on the ACC network. Yeah. That looks like he's given a Jets press conference, and that the NC is the logo.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
It's like that looks just like a Jets.
All right. I got to run up there, actually, now that I think about it. So let's continue to do this. Big thanks to Nature's Relief as well. Check them out online, naturesreliefhempstore.com. I've been sleeping like crap in our Airbnb. I cannot wait to get home, pop a gummy, and sleep like a baby. And then tomorrow, you know what I'm doing? I'm going to Happy Inhale because I've had enough hotel food.
Yep.
I need something green.
Help me out, please.
Something, please. Happy Inhale. Check them out. Download the app today. Happy Inhale. Promo code OG25. You can save 25% off your first order. And, of course, our friends at Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority, you can check them out online at Mosquito Authority at bugsbite.com. You can bundle and save when you use the outside of your house with Mosquito Authority and the inside of your house with Pest Authority. I believe I touched them all.
Good work.
Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Big shout out to our guy, Matt Davis, State Farm.
Matt. It's our guy.
InsureGarner.com.
You said summer of savings.
It is the summer of savings.
I think last year we said that too, but it's fine.
I don't think we did. You know what?
Even if we did, there are no new ideas.
No. So it's another summer of savings.
I'm the only one who remembered.
So go to InsureGarner.com. Call Matt today, 919-779-8277. Again, that's 919-779-8277. All right, so we just got done with the Bill Belichick extravaganza here at ACC Kickoff. Special correspondent, the big dog, Ross Martin. Big Hitters Only podcast. Ross, what up, man?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on. Big Hitters Only.
Look, I feel like we needed boots on the ground reporting for what just took place at ACC Kickoff between Bill Belichick and the assembled press. I was not expecting a fullback question to be asked in the press conference. I don't think Bill – I think the person who asked the question about fullback thought, I'm going to get Bill on a football level.
Yeah.
We're going to go
He'll answer this one. He'll answer this one.
And instead, we got I know about all that. So, look, man, we've been coming to these things for a long time. And I know some of the old heads will tell you, like if Wes Durham were sitting down right now, he'd tell you, man, that's how things used to be back in the 90s. I know I wasn't here for that, but I got to disagree. That was a spectacle, man.
Yeah, it's the most people I've seen for a press conference at one of these things, ACC Media Day. And in the breakout room, you had every single TV station that's here, there, and then just a cattle car of people. It's just the random amount of blogs from all across the East Coast here. It's the biggest spectacle, I think, in college football right now, preseason. Like today, ESPN announced they're doing their pregame show live from Chapel Hill on Monday ahead of the TCU game. I mean, it is the biggest story before football actually starts.
So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm pulling up a couple of photos that I took from the press availability. This room here at the Hilton in Uptown Charlotte, this is probably the largest crowd I've seen for even more so than the commissioner. There's some empty seats. You got people hanging around. I've never seen it this full. I've seen more action. I mean, I've been around for Butch Davis press conferences during the height of the NCAA troubles, right? So there's been that, but I've never seen a room filled like that. Even more so, the crazy part is this next picture I'll show you on YouTube. It's from the breakout room that Ross mentioned. The breakout room typically is an opportunity for maybe some TV, mostly writers, guys like you when you were doing your writing thing, not being a big hitter podcast guy. You go get an opportunity to ask more individual questions. There's nothing really formal about it. This one had chairs. They had a guy that was leading, like pointing, all right, you can ask this question. You can ask this question. You can
Bill
ask this
Belichick's
question.
handler.
It was the guy that they hired here. Apologies, I forgot the guy's name. I'm bringing it all this up because I got to give UNC credit. This, he wasn't made available for Radio Row. I understood I understood the reasons why. Totally understood the reasons why. But I do want to give UNC some credit because at least they tried to meet the needs. They actually had a press availability even earlier in the day for local media, local TV, an opportunity to get some questions asked that would be avoided from the main room. And, of course, the breakout room, which was even more of a zoo. So I'll give UNC credit trying to handle Bill's availability the best they can, even with communication being scant at best. I'll give him some credit on that. See, Wes Durham. Wes, was it as crazy as the 90s? I don't know. I guess grab a microphone. Hold on a second. You know what? We're doing this all live. Grab this microphone. I got it.
Man, look at this duo right here.
This is a duo right here. Wes, all right. I'm just going to go ahead and turn the cam. I'm actually going to do a two-shot here. So if you don't mind,
was I on camera earlier?
You were on camera earlier.
Yeah, you've been on camera the whole time.
Folks, this is called live podcasting here. So watch the camera get nuts here.
This is the Thursday show that goes live at 2:00.
It really is. It's all stuff. Look at this dynamic duo on
Giglio?
YouTube right now. He's sleepy. I think he's a little sick.
Oh,
I think he had a bad clam. I'm serious.
Ooh.
I think he has like food poisoning.
Okay,
so he needed to
get well soon, Joe.
He needed to go home. But the reason why I brought Ross in is because we want boots on the ground reporting for this Belichick stuff, right?
Sure.
Like I know things used to be different in the 90s. You know, more media, all that kind of stuff. Even in like the heyday of kickoff at like Pinehurst, Grandover Golf, and stuff like that. I've never seen anything like that, though.
What's that?
I've never seen anything like that.
Oh, I went back. I mean, I had somebody ask me. I did not enter the room, by the way.
Which one?
I did.
I did not enter the big room.
And did you go to the small room?
Didn't go. Did he do the breakout?
Oh, he did the breakout.
I would have lost $100 then. Because I would have never imagined the breakout would occur.
He's been good. I think he's been good.
He's actually
answering the questions. He's been a little more long-winded than you expect.
Sure.
And
he survived somebody trying to be funny with a fullback question.
Oh, yeah,
we
mentioned that. That's the breakout room.
All right, now that, and I'm going to give you the analogy. You boys are going to have to work hard for this.
Yeah.
It's been since a mid-'90s ACC tournament that I've ever seen anything like this.
A mid-'90s ACC
like
tournament.
95, Randolph Childress, 96, Tim Duncan,
Dean Smith is
4 teams in the top 7 type ACC tournament venue.
Yeah.
That has happened in the past of this conference. I'm not saying now today was a mile marker day for football in the ACC.
Okay.
But in terms of ACC events with this kind of attendance,
I agree. I know what you're saying now. What I was getting at more so was just the spectacle of that amount of people
spectacle
trying to ask
is
questions.
unique into itself.
Yeah.
But have you
Outlets
ever seen?
I've never heard of before, by the way.
Well, 1620 the Sports Possum, they show up. Funny.
Do you
There's
think-
Josh.
Hey-o.
Do you think that this kind of bump, like, is this what UNC expected? Is this what they want?
Sure
What's
it
the
is.
true benefit to all this attention for UNC football? Just
Okay.
fundraising, money,
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
ticket sales?
the Q rating of the football team at the University of North Carolina has never been higher.
Yeah.
Now, can you validate it with wins?
That's the question.
That's exactly the
That's
question.
the question.
But I mean, it's like the day they hired Butch Davis, I remember my dad calling and asking me, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, congratulations, you're in the football business." Now, it turns out you were in the wrong business of football.
Yeah.
But you were in the football business. And look, it was good for a couple of years.
Yeah. It was
Butch
about to be-
Davis was
about to be really
It was
good.
about to be really good. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, somebody put something on social media. Just
Somebody
like
slept
in
on the
America,
couch.
somebody slept on somebody's couch. And next thing you know, bottle service in D.C. and it all got bad.
Rick Ross lyrics, and
Right.
it was never the same.
Okay. So here's the deal. This has all been good. Some has been managed, mismanaged. And now they've got everything seemingly
Mm-hmm.
from a football perspective to be ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
For the SEC.
Lopez, Jordan Ship, everybody was fine here. You know, let's see how they play.
Okay.
Workable schedule.
It's a very workable schedule.
So, win 8, good start. Year 2, who knows? The possibilities are endless if they can validate it with the way they play on the field.
Yeah. And I think people have been asking me a lot about this, like, how good they're going to be. I was like, look, no one knows really this
Nobody
roster.
knows.
They had 70 new players.
Correct.
But I think the preparation and the in-game adjustments, halftime adjustments, heading the fourth quarter adjustments will be so much better than
But
what Matt
here,
did.
okay, here's the
So
thing,
that
though.
will it give you a win or two more than what they had before.
Okay, here's the thing, though. I was talking to Michael Felder about this. Felder, former UNC player, he's with Learfield. And Felder, more than anybody that I know, can absorb football knowledge
Right.
at a rate that is exponential.
Right.
But he'll be the first to tell you, I can absorb all that knowledge. I just couldn't play. When you get to the NFL, you can play. There's no, there's no guesswork, so to speak. I mean, there is guesswork because you got to get the right fit. You do have draft bust. But what I'm getting at is these are professionals, right? Sometimes kids get to college and they might absorb what you're trying to teach them on a football level, but they just can't play. And that's going to be the thing that I feel is the biggest challenge that Bill's going to have to overcome for the first time in a long time as a football coach.
He's had teams, though, even in the NFL, he's had teams that did not perform to what he thought their standard could be.
Yeah.
Okay. He certainly had those teams when he coached in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, he had playoff teams in Cleveland, but he also had bad teams in Cleveland. Like I told you guys yesterday, the core defensive side of the ball, though, has always been pretty steady under anything under his watch. Certainly Parcells with the Giants, whatever the scenario was, Belichick's defense pretty good. The thing that he has to manage and coach, and Jordan Ship, in the long-form piece that's going to air next month with us on ACC Network, Jordan Ship talked about it wasn't necessarily the practice field as much as it was the meeting room where Bill Belichick really, you can feel the impact of him coaching.
Sure.
Because he addresses details, even details that he never got any other level of coaching.
Yeah.
He said that's the part that resonates with every player is that Bill Belichick sees everything about the football team every day.
I think you'll see that in the preparation, that the stuff behind the scenes is going to be turned up a little bit more than what they've experienced the last 3 or 4 years.
All right. Before we get out of
I got
here,
one thing to add after you're done with
Well,
this.
what's funny is you brought up the whole go to the SEC thing. I've had a lot of UNC fans get in my mentions and say, hey, have you seen this at Inside Carolina related to like leaving the ACC? Like Greg Barnes wrote something, Adam Smith wrote something, and this is all related to the negotiation and the settlement with Florida State and Clemson and how North Carolina, I'm giving you all the Cliff Notes version of what's been
Right.
on IC, in that North Carolina, meanwhile, has been positioning themselves. And I thought to myself, this is not a knock on IC. I want to make this abundantly clear. They do a fine job. They are giving Tar Heel fans information.
Sure are.
But I did not get anything that I thought was, well, yeah, we all know this. We know that North Carolina has been positioning themselves to be attractive for the next whatever happens.
Yeah,
whether
20,
it's
30, 31.
Right.
Absolutely.
This is why I asked Jim Phillips yesterday, how are you looking at 2030, not just from your own league, but college football in general? Because we don't even know conferences will exist in 2030.
Correct.
We don't know what kind of TV money is going to exist in 2030. So Carolina's doing their due diligence, all things we know, all things that we know Bubba's been on record about. So my question is, how much of this Bill Belichick thing, success or failure, impacts what happens between now and 2030? That's my curiosity.
I think paying him $10 million is showing that they can get a level of coach they need to win in the SEC and get to the SEC. I think hiring Steve Newmark is a move to get the revenue where it needs to be for that move as well.
Mic up, Russ. Be a big hitter.
Hiring Steve Newmark, yeah, he's here with Bubba. They're over there.
I know. I chatted with Steve
Joe
a little bit
chatted.
today. I introduced myself.
Yeah,
you know?
so did I. Yeah, not to brag, but yeah, I mean, I think it's all setting up for that, and it's going to happen. And yeah, you'd rather. I mean, they're very desirable. I mean, it's nothing. I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said before.
I'm just not sure why it's always got to be about a potential move to the SEC.
Big Ten, you think Jim Delaney's look at his chops going, guys?
No, I look.
It's
I'm going to
time.
tell you this.
It's time.
I'm going to say this, and this is not being Woody's boy.
Yeah.
The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is a major commodity in the next transition of college athletics.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Everybody knows that. That's why I always find it interesting.
And I
with
would
Clemson and
offer
Florida
this.
State. North Carolina's the brand.
If you look at the financials of those two leagues, the one that Tony Petitti runs,
Yeah.
little
pretty
deeper
good.
pocket.
All right, what's your question, Ron?
How desirable is the state of North Carolina? It's like one of the fastest.
it's incredibly valuable.
Fastest growing
Incredibly
states. Everyone wants to
incredibly
move here. Cary, Apex,
Well,
Charlotte.
Ross, to your point, I would add this. And from a college athletic standpoint, if some of this matters across the board beyond the major level, like the NC State, the North Carolina, Duke, Wake Forest, whatever, I would say this. The state of North Carolina as a whole economically is in an unbelievable spot from institutional wise. If they choose to move up at the level of college athletics, any of these institutions, public or private in the state of North Carolina, conceivably could be desirable for other conferences.
Yeah.
So what's your question,
Okay,
Ross?
my question. You haven't been out in the scrums like we are, me and Joe out there in the breakout rooms.
Correct.
The lunches and everything.
On purpose.
At the ACC, these ACC media days, you see it's the most amazing collection of white people. It's like the most diverse collection of weirdo white people you've ever seen. From like the fats to these nerds to the balds. It is
Why
amazing.
did you just were you just describing me?
I mean, I don't know.
The fat, the balls,
It's
the weirdo.
just- you
Hi,
get
it's
all-
me,
you
Ross.
get the total spectrum of whites.
It's college.
Unbelievable.
It's college football.
I know, but you have these little kids that are the blog boys now. You have the
You're
slick
a
floor
blog
players.
boy.
Yeah, dude, I am self-aware.
He's a
where I
tall,
fall.
old block boy.
Yeah, you're an old
you
blog
have
boy
the
now.
old school journalists who've been doing like the, David
David
Teal and Mark Berman. Shout out, these old guys have been doing it forever. You have radio people. It is unbelievable. to
God,
see,
what am
like,
I?
The different
Right, what am
levels
I?
of whites.
You've never been
I mean,
to
it's
the.
a
You've never
special
no
collection,
Ross. You've never been to the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Where?
You've never been to the Stanley Cup
I
playoffs.
can't.
You've never been to a Stanley Cup final when you add the Canadian whites to the mix.
Yeah, it's just the collection within the spectrum of journalists.
And you've never been to an SEC media day.
Oh, my
I
God.
haven't.
Ross.
Now, if you want to see a collection,
you want to see a collection of people in Americana,
In the- I love
by
it.
the way,
union
and
labor
the
meeting
questions
is your
you
next
get-
stop.
The
I have a,
questions you get from some of these people.
now I have a question for you two before we go.
For me or for
Two
both
well-known
of us?
Both of you.
whites.
Okay.
Speaking of media days, did you know that the SEC charges
Yes, I do.
$700 is what I heard?
I do. Yes, I'm familiar with
To
that.
go to it,
So if you want a table like
You have
this,
to pay
Okay.
for it.
you got to pay for it. You got to
not to
pay.
just be on.
You got to pay the
No.
richest conference in the land. You have
Money.
to pay them
Probably-
$700 to get a radio table. If you want to have cameras, I think it's $1,500.
It is at least 1,000.
So if
I am
that's
familiar with 3 stations that paid the freight last week in Atlanta.
so,
Pay
if
to
the
play, baby.
if the SEC's charging that much, what am I getting charged here next year?
What did you say? What do you get charged?
What am I getting charged here next year? What's
Probably,
the ACC
you probably
rate?
need to be thinking about having a exclusive sponsor of your coverage from the 2026 Atlantic Coast Conference football kickoff.
We're really going to have to pay?
I don't know that. I just think it'd be funny if you had to.
Damn, you know what?
But then again, I'm not the entrepreneur, and you guys have been amazing doing this.
I gotta start talking to our corporate champions now for 2026.
How about let's get Roback in here as a sponsor.
I was
Johnny O.
Home field. Home field make us a
Roback.
special edition shirt.
I think Ben over at Roback might have a special edition
Okay, Ben.
ACC
Hey,
kickoff
Ben, I'm
shirt.
Wes. Good to meet you.
We'll put you in contact.
I
All
got
right,
the
boys.
TV cart shirt, the AV cart, by the way, Ben. I just bought that last week because it was on sale.
Use promo code OG20. You should have used another email for that.
All right. To close out, what's UNC's record this year? How many wins?
8-4.
Yeah, 8-4.
8-4.
8-4
Ho hum 8-4.
The Dave Doeren special.
Which,
will be one of the 4.
Wes, you didn't see the picture. While Belichick's in the breakout room, Dave's at the main room.
And
So I went in there and I took a picture. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it right now. I'll show you the picture on my phone. You know Dave Doeren better than I do. Dave Doeren probably loves this for bulletin board
Absolutely.
material. This is what he wants.
a photo of the Belichick room?
Ross, if you're going to talk, pick up the mic.
Oh, did you get a picture of
Ross.
Belichick in
Mic
that room?
drops.
I thought we were done.
Yeah. Hey, and by
Did
the
I-
way,
did I
they're
get a picture?
replaying NC State Carolina
I
highlights
love
on
it.
the
And
I-
ACC
did I get a
network.
picture of what?
What?
What did I get a picture of? What were you
Of
asking?
the Belichick room.
Yeah.
The big room.
Yeah, I got that.
That's a good dichotomy
Yeah,
right there.
it was night and day. Anyway, boys, we appreciate the instant reaction to Belichick.
Get better,
Man.
Giglio.
Yeah,
By the way, shout out Greg Barnes' son's an Elon student.
go Phoenix.
Go Phoenix.
UNC quarterback Gio Lopez sitting down with us at ACC Kickoff. Welcome to the ACC. Welcome to the circus, man.
Thank y'all for having me.
It's like your head coach is like this big deal that people want to know everything about. Who knew, right?
Yeah, we'll never go.
So, hey, what's it been like for you? I see the social media team getting your fit right. I like the shoes, by the way. Those are nice.
Thank you.
You doing all this kind of stuff. Is this a lot for you? Is this what you've been wanting? Like, this is all in, man.
I wouldn't describe it as wanting. Of course, when it comes from the football aspect of things, I wanted to play in a bigger, league and, show my talents to a bigger audience, of course. But in the sense of, like, the media and all that other stuff, I'm okay about it.
Yeah.
Don't really care for it. Not against it. I mean, y'all are doing y'all's jobs as well. So,
Sure.
so there's that aspect of things that I'm cool with. It doesn't really affect me.
So you want football. You're getting football with Bill, right?
Yes.
So we know nothing, right? Because Bill's like he's in New England. It's like, hey, man, it ain't getting out of here. So from a player's perspective, is it just really just football right now? Like you've gotten past the, oh, man, it's Bill Belichick, Super Bowl champion, XYZ. Is it just football now?
Yeah, it's just football. I mean, at first, when I first got here, for me, a big wake-up call was like, excuse me, we're in the weight room, and
Yeah.
like, we're working out, and like Belichick just walks in, you're like, oh, that's my head coach. Like, that kind of threw me off at first, but then like naturally now seeing that over and over and over again, because
Yeah.
he's a very present guy for us. Like, he shows up to our lifts, shows up to our runs, just kind of like, being motivational for us. Like, so like now it's kind of got comfortable, have conversations with him. You don't walk, like, still every once in a while, like, you'll walk off like, I was just talking to Bill Belichick, but like it's kind of calmed down to where you're like, that's my head coach. Like,
Yeah.
just wanting to learn from him.
Do you have a favorite Bill Belichick saying yet?
Do
your job, win the day.
He's pretty basic with the statements. It's just one of those like, if I heard him say, he's probably said it on to one of the Patriots on video before. Probably heard it when I was like 10 years old. So like,
Yeah, but there's a difference when you're 10 years old and then now when you're playing for him and you hear him say like, yo, that was garbage or that was brutal or that was whatever that was. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
yeah, he's blunt. He's blunt but honest. He's not trying to be disrespectful, but he's gonna keep it real with you. So when you hear him talk, you listen.
As a player, though, that's what you want, right?
Yeah, of course. You want to just, I told him when I first came in, I told Coach Kitchens and Coach Belichick, like, look, like, I just coach me as hard as possible. I want to be the best version of myself.
So are you underrated as a two-way? Like, how do you feel about your game and how it's kind of represented and what people have been talking about versus what we'll see on game day?
I feel like I can do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Of course, a lot of people view me as a runner sometimes, and some people don't view me as that. I try to keep myself out of all that, how people view me. I feel like when I do scramble, it's for me to pass. I'm not running just to take off. Like I do want to just extend the play. I feel like overall, I'm underrated, of course, but I feel like every team, every player should feel underrated. You should never feel like you earned your role. Like you just keep wanting to get better. I feel like the UNC team as a whole feels underrated and want to prove themselves.
Who's the one guy that you, with practice and you're getting ready to start for the season, you're just hyped? Like, I cannot wait to play a game with this guy.
For me, to be honest, like, I know, no cliche.
Is it all the
I'm
receivers?
just excited to play with all these guys. I'm excited to play with these guys. I see the effort and hard work they put in. I feel like everyone can play. Even the true freshmen that came in, they've showed up and they're already kind of wrapped their head around things. So like, okay, like, this is like the 33rd team. Like we try to emphasize. So like everyone's kind of just working hard and wanting to, keep stacking days.
Okay, now after last year, you were not welcomed in the western half of this state because of the performance that you put on at Kid Brewer Stadium. I'm about to piss off all the App State fans, but they're all also Carolina fans. So you've won them all back. Just like that. They hated you and now they love you.
And I will say, the App State game, that was probably one of the funnest environments I've played in.
It's a great spot.
It was a great, like I literally tell people, like people ask me like, what's the most fun game you played in? Of course, there's a little bit of us, winning, put up 48 points.
Yeah, I was gonna say 48 or 14. You had some kind of game.
But also when it comes to like the stadium, like they were a fun environment. And those fans stayed. Like we were up big and they stayed. And I was like, man, this is a really cool place to play. Like I bet a lot of people enjoy playing here.
Do you know the triangle dynamics at all?
Jordan Shipp told me a little bit about it, but I don't really fully understand the triangle.
Like State wants to beat the crap out of you, right?
Oh, like the triangle.
Like NC State.
Oh, I know the rivalry.
Yeah.
But I heard like there's like the Triangle City. Like I don't.
Oh
really
no!
know.
I'm talking about the rivalry.
Oh,
I'm
the
talking about
rivalry.
NC State. I'm talking Duke.
Duke.
Like, I mean,
yeah.
Like you got the Duke thing. I get all that.
I
But
talking
like,
about the city. Yeah. I know about the rivalry. Of course.
But I'm sure the guys in the room have told you, like, by the way.
Yeah.
I know Bill talked about the Duke game, but let's explain this State game.
Yeah, I heard. I remember seeing on ESPN the fight last year. I was like, all right, it's pretty real rivalry. I need to be prepared for.
So I've always been curious about that with the portal. I love that you guys are able to pursue what you want and go where you want and those types of things. I think that's good. But I've always been curious about when you land into a spot like this, what the crash course is to understand, like, yeah, Duke's the obvious one, but we also got this ECU thing, and you got all that kind of stuff, and whether you care about it or it ever gets expressed to you.
Oh, I feel like it's hard, with the portal nowadays. A lot of, like, especially us, I think we have over 60 new players, so a lot of us wasn't involved in that, rivalry, but just coming here understanding very quickly, like, hey, like this is how it's done, this is what we do. Getting told from people that's been here, just taking on that, like, the advertisers.
I'm assuming the recruiting process was completely different from the portal process. It's both recruitment.
Yeah.
But what was the key difference for you?
The key difference for me was, for me, going into my senior year, I had shoulder surgery. So for me, I lost a whole bunch of offers, and I knew I was going to South Alabama, and I was like, this is what's going on. But for me, hitting the portal was a little more surreal for me. I'm like, man, all this hard work, all this all the grind, all this blood, sweat, and tears I put into this, like I'm actually getting a little bit of recognition, and it felt very important, but it was also harder than you think. Like for me, like leaving South Alabama was super hard, and me and Coach Applewhite was super, like, really close. I was like almost like my football dad. Like he took me under his wing. I ate dinner at his house all the time, lunch, we watched film all the time. So leaving him was really hard because I really enjoyed our relationship I had player-coach-wise that you don't really find as much now with the portal. So I'm very thankful for my time with him and Coach Applewhite and his family.
When you think Bill Belichick and quarterbacks, obviously you think Tom Brady. But have you watched any clips of Jacoby Brissett?
Yes, I've watched. Actually, when me and Coach Belichick met for the first time, he talked about He talked about Jacoby Brissett. He talked about Matt Castle. Okay. He talked about having Cam, of course. Talked about Tom. Right. Just talking about guys he's coached over the years and getting to learn from that was pretty interesting.
Cam and Tom, two totally different guys.
Completely.
Totally different guys. Now look, I haven't seen a player do things the way that Cam Newton was ever, like, especially here in Charlotte when they went on their incredible run to the Super Bowl.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, man. It's crazy how time flies. But even still, like, you could still, like, ooh, man, if anybody's going to get something out of Cam, it's probably going to be Bill. But, of course, we saw the rest of that went out.
Carolina also had a pretty good Gio before you, Gio Bernard.
Giovanni Bernard. I remember watching
he
him.
was a
Yeah,
baller, man.
Nah,
So-
I really didn't watch him at UNC, but I watched him when he was with the Bengals. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, speaking of that rivalry dynamic, he has a very key moment in that NC State.
Yeah, he's a
Carolina
punt return,
rivalry.
doesn't he?
It was the-
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
the- yeah. If
You've probably seen the picture in the stadium.
We actually have
Facility.
a video that plays in the,
Of
in
course
the
it does.
facilities.
There you go.
Hey, I've watched it probably
I know that
10,000
one.
times
Oh,
now.
Of course it does, man. Of course it does. Gio Lopez, hey, man, we appreciate the time. Welcome to the Triangle. And, hey, man, it's going to be a hell of a season.
Thank you.
No pressure game one with Bill Belichick.
All
right?
good.
No
All
pressure.
good.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank y'all.
Thaddeus Dixon joining us at ACC Kickoff on the Heaster Automotive Group microphone. Welcome to the ACC, man. Welcome to Chapel Hill.
Nah, I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to be on here, man. I appreciate y'all.
So, you're the only insight we got on Stephen Belichick. You were with him at Washington. I'm guessing that's part of the reason why you're in Chapel Hill as well. So, what is Belichick bringing to the table? What do you know about him?
I know a lot about him. I built a close relationship with Coach Steve last year. We kind of hit it off, from the first time, he came up there in the spring. So, Coach Steve, he's a real down-to-earth dude. He doesn't really like doing stuff like this, being in front of the media and stuff like that. But
I wonder where he got that from.
obviously. But, he doesn't really like doing stuff like this. But, he does a lot of the heavy lifting for our team. And, he's very keen in on bringing everybody together, stuff like that. So
I'm curious from the defensive standpoint. Obviously, you've got your relationship with Belichick's kid. But now with Bill and with his defensive knowledge, I mean, there are concepts that are in the NFL, and he's dealing with professionals. Has he adjusted it at all, you think? Or is it football's football, and you're getting these concepts, and you're just absorbing it the way you can?
Yeah, football is football at the end of the day. I mean, it's universal. It's a copycat league in college and in the league. So, he's just bringing pretty much everything they did in the league down to the college and making teams have to adjust to what we're doing.
I'm jealous. You've lived one of the great years in college football history. Washington
yes, sir.
in 23. What was that season like? Because, you've probably figured out now that we don't pay that much attention to what was the Pac-12 or the schools on the West Coast. So it seemed like you guys were always under the radar. It was like, well, they got Penix, but we're always kind of drawn to Oregon, right?
Yeah.
So what was that year like? What was your favorite part of that year?
Oh, man, that year was truly special. I mean, it was honestly special. That was my first year Division I. And, to come into a team like that just, had so much good camaraderie, and we worked so hard, to get where we was at. Being overlooked week in and week out, man, just overcoming what everybody said about us. I mean, all the doubters. I mean, it was truly special.
You probably learned a little bit with those receivers, too.
Yeah.
Jalen Paul, Ramadunze, right? Like, how was practice? Did you get a couple on Penix?
I got one on Mike.
Okay.
I got one interception on Mike, but other than that, it was a whole lot of balls going over my head. I can't even lie. I mean, we had so many good dudes, plus a good quarterback, and Ryan Grubb was an absolutely phenomenal offensive coordinator. When you're going against three good dudes, a quarterback and a scheme, I mean, it's not too much you can do every day.
So, how's Gio Lopez?
Great. Absolutely phenomenal. I feel like he doesn't get the recognition, I feel like, as a passer that he should. I feel like he's a lot better throwing the ball than what people give him credit for. They think he, is a runner, gets, like, stuff done on the ground. But I feel like he's very underrated as a passer.
You got a number yet?
Jersey number, I wore number 1.
Okay.
There we go.
Because I know that you guys didn't have, jersey numbers there when you guys opened up practice, right?
Yeah, well, it was no jersey numbers.
How was that?
Earned. It was crazy.
Did you know who was who?
I was going to say, did you know who's who?
I mean, you can kind of tell who's who, but me being a new guy and there's no jersey numbers, it was kind of rough for me. I can't even lie.
Doing flashcards like, all right, this is what the guy looks like with his helmet on. All right, that's that's Jordan's ship. I got it. All right.
Yeah, real talk.
Do you have a favorite Bill Belichick ism yet? One of his favorite sayings? I'm sure there's been a few that have been repeated.
Brutal. If you mess up or something, he's gonna get on you in the meeting room. You probably just say it was brutal. I mean, that's probably not the side of the meeting I want to be on. But yeah, Bill's a fun guy.
I was gonna say though, like the just brutal, or you don't want to hear that. I mean, that's what drives you though, right?
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, obviously he's coaching from a standpoint of wanting to get everybody better, but he does put people on the spot, and you do got to take certain stuff on the chin.
Thaddeus, we appreciate the time, man. Good luck this season. Have fun. Glad you got your number.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, man. TCU is here before you
I was
know
going
it.
to say, there's so much attention to that first game. It feels like you must feel like, hey, I'm used to this. You know, there's a lot of players who are your teammates, including Gio. I mean, he hasn't played in games like this. You know?
Yeah. So it's a big game, but I played in bigger ones. I mean, obviously, you played in national championship.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just another
You're like,
step in the
"Yeah,
road.
it'll be fine."
It's a
Hey,
Labor Day game.
you do have the stage to yourself, though, much like that championship game. You know, that Monday night, Labor Day, that's a big game. So
It's different levels of pressure for sure. Yes, national championship game, kind of a big deal. Hey, man, we appreciate the time.
Yep.
Have fun the rest of the day.
I appreciate you.
We are at ACC Kickoff. We promised you a head coach by the name Bill, who's in the ACC,
You got the wrong one.
and he has
Tom Brady?
NFL experience, and he coached Tom Brady. We told you we're going to give you a Bill here at ACC Kickoff, and we have a Bill. Bill O'Brien, Boston College. Thanks for dropping by.
Appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome. Sorry, it's the wrong Bill. It's the Irishman from Boston.
yeah, you know you're indirectly responsible for Bill Belichick being Carolina's coach, right?
Fill me in on that.
Well, when you pasted Carolina
Taste it.
41-21
Yeah.
in a game that wasn't even that close,
Yeah.
Bubba Cunningham was there.
Yeah,
AD.
we
He was
we
like-
were ready for that. We played well in that game, and I have a lot of respect for Mac Brown.
Yes,
so I
of
don't
course,
want-
of course,
But,
of course.
we did. We physically dominated that game. It was a good game. For us.
Sometimes the stars align. You got to throw that fastball
Yeah,
every
I'm sure
once in a while.
Bubba was
You know?
not happy about that.
He was not.
little old Boston College. coming
So,
over.
hence, he gets fired a week later before the state game.
Yeah.
And here you are. You are indirectly responsible for your former boss being at Carolina.
Yeah, so Bill should thank me.
He should. I
Has
mean,
he?
You
Yeah.
got me the North Carolina job, Coach O'Brien. Thank you.
Yeah.
You think I'll ever hear that from him?
Doubt it. Doubt it.
Because it's not true.
I am curious. It's been an interesting ACC Kickoff. On Tuesday, I see Ron Rivera here.
Yeah, great guy.
Frank Reich.
Great guy.
Panther coaches, right?
Yep.
And you're here. Bill Belichick is now at North Carolina. It's interesting to see NFL guys in this environment, which then gets the main question. What's so different now? How does that bring you guys who are so used to the NFL environment to this?
I think a lot of people have asked me that question. I think that college football, there are definite similarities now to the NFL relative to NIL and all that. I think you guys know, but I also think that there's more coaching going on in college football. Meaning you can, and I don't want to speak for Bill, but I bet he sees this. Like you can spend much more time with the college player
Okay.
than you can with the NFL player
Okay.
because of the schedule. I mean, the college player is with you almost year round. Whereas the NFL player is gone for a few months, and then they come back for OTAs, and then they go away again for 5 weeks, and they come back for training. So I think like one of the things that I love about college football, and I love both. I love the NFL
Sure.
and college, but I love the fact that I can really be around my players a lot.
Okay.
And I'm sure that, I don't know if Frank and Bill would say the same thing, Ron, but I bet that's part of it,
But the curiosity to that, and one thing that I'm going to find interesting, and you're dealing with it now, you're around the players, but in the NFL, you have contracts. You know that this guy is part of your team for X amount of years,
Right.
whatever the term is. College is year to year.
Oh,
There are no contracts. So
No doubt.
you might develop something, you're looking ahead, and then all of a sudden, hey, coach, so I'm getting this really great offer, or whatever
I
it might
know.
be. So how do you handle that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Boston College, we have our own niche, right?
Sure.
So, we, number one is we're a developmental program. We're not going to be, we have transfers on the team, but primarily we're a high school recruiting program. Boston College is it's not a place that you really transfer into, and it's not really a place that you transfer out of. I'm not saying that hasn't happened.
Of course.
That has happened, but the majority of our team over the last, let's just call it 4 portal windows, has been retained. And so I think that it's a little bit different for us. Plus, my philosophy is I don't want anybody to transfer. Now, guys have transferred, but I want them all to stay. I want to develop them and watch them get better. And so I think that's part of our philosophy. But, yeah, it's different than the NFL. In the NFL, you have a legal tampering period before free agency. You have, like you said, contracts.
I've always loved that term.
Yeah, legal. You have a CBA. You have an enforcement body. You only have 32 teams. There's a lot of differences, in the NFL than to college. But yeah, you're right. It's a year-to-year deal. You got to recruit your own team quite a bit.
We spoke to you a year ago at this event in this lobby, and I kind of walked away from it thinking you thought you had a better team than most people were giving you credit for. You had a very interesting season last year.
Yeah.
Starting with that Missouri game, right? Heck, starting with the Florida State game, where you go down there, you push them around.
Yeah.
There was nothing fluky about that.
No.
You beat Michigan State. You beat Florida State.
Yeah.
You beat Carolina. You beat Pitt. You beat a 10-win Syracuse team.
Yeah.
I mean, you got worked once.
Yeah.
It's going to happen probably. Like you said, some days you're going to go in and someone's going to bring the hammer.
Yeah.
But you had to be, for a 7-6 season, you had to be really pleased for year one.
I was happy for the players. I think we still have to understand what it takes not to lose before we can learn how to win. We still do things, not now, but I mean last year we have to, we turn the ball over in key situations, or we miss an interception or miss a tackle. Or our margin of error at Boston College is slim. Mm-hmm. And so I think if we can be more consistent in those type of plays, the difference between 7 wins and 10 wins is small. It's not. Missouri was a tight game. SMU was a tight game. Virginia was a tight game. We lost those games. Those teams are great. They're good teams, but we turned it over. We did something in the game that they didn't do, and we lost. We got to flip the script on that.
You won't hear thank you from Bill Belichick, but you will hear most games aren't won. They're lost.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I got all the fucking Belichickisms, by the way.
I learned that, yeah. Oh, you can swear on this?
Yeah, we're a podcast.
You might not want to.
No,
you're fine.
You're affiliate.
I'll have to go to confession.
I was going to say, as a Catholic, I know the way around that. You just go to confession.
Irish Catholic. So
I
go to church on Sundays to ask for forgiveness.
So I am curious. Again, this is my fascination with NFL versus college. I get coaching's coaching, and football is football. But there's a different level of how you're going through concepts when you're dealing with professionals who have been building to this point. They're adults. They played a lot of freaking football, so you're interacting with them on a different level. So what kind of transition is that for you to go from that then back to college, in Boston College, in those concepts? Do you dial it back? Is it just football at the end of the day? There's got to be a difference in how you try to get those concepts across to kids that were just in high school.
Yeah, there is a big difference. I think it's a great question. 2-part answer real quick. One of the things that's cool about college for me is you really can teach these guys a lot about what you've learned from your experiences.
Okay.
Whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. So when you stand up in front of the team and you teach the team, you gain their respect by your overall football knowledge, because in many ways maybe they haven't heard these things before that you've been fortunate to learn over 33 years.
Sure.
The other thing about the different concepts and the things that we don't limit, we throw the kitchen sink at these guys.
Okay.
And we, again, going back to my original, we spend a lot of time with these guys. I mean, these guys, they're in their 8th week of summer training where, I mean, so we're with them. We're meeting with them all the time, and we're repetition upon repetition, so they can take more of that information in and learn it and be able to, execute it on the field. I think that's something that I've seen. The difference between college and pro, again, is we can spend a lot more time with our guys.
Okay.
Does it confuse your Duke, Georgia Tech, Maryland, ACC roots that you don't play a single team from the state of North Carolina this year?
It is crazy.
Like how does that happen?
I think I probably got in a little bit of trouble earlier because I'm like, it's not really the ACC. Like,
right.
It's not the Atlantic Coast Conference.
It's changed.
We just call it the ACC. We got Stanford and Cal.
Right.
I'm not a geography major. I went to Brown. I was a political science major. But I know that Stanford and Cal are by the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, it's like KFC. Just call it ACC.
Atlantic, somebody
it's
asked
the All-Coast Conference.
Yeah.
When I was at Georgia Tech, we had some great, Georgia Tech, Virginia.
Yeah.
Clemson.
When I was at Maryland, Virginia, Georgia Tech, Clemson.
We miss Maryland in this conference, man.
Duke, North Carolina.
Yeah.
When I was
Don't insult us now. Maryland State.
What?
Maryland in the Wolfpack.
Yeah, Maryland, NC State. Name the one team that Phillip Rivers. I think I'm right on
we
that.
know.
Yeah, we know.
We know. The
Four
L.
Ls.
I was there for two of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has one L in his name, but when Maryland shows up, all four show up.
Sean
It's very-
Merriman had a day that
Yeah.
night. It was
yeah.
night. They were,
Yeah.
The NC State fans were not happy.
No.
I guess I got to go.
Bill O'Brien, you got to go.
Hey,
Before
no,
this,
no
always
more
good
big
shit.
leaguing us, by the way.
I didn't big league.
You did.
Stop it.
I got my feelings hurt because
I've never big
we had a
leagued.
great connection. We do. And you go on with Edelman. Like, what did he ever do for you? Like, win a Super Bowl or something like that?
No, I actually Edelman. I had him as a rookie and a second-year
Okay.
player. So
All right.
so there,
We'll,
there you
we'll
go.
work up to Edelman status, man. Come
Thanks,
on.
Coach. Appreciate it.
Come
you
see
guys.
us.
You guys are the best. Thank you.
Sitting down with us on the Heister Automotive Group microphone is NC State head football coach Dave Doeren. Hello, first
How you
off.
doing?
That 4-pack of OG Lights for you.
I appreciate that.
I thought of all the coaches that were talked to today, you are the one who needs that the most, given the last 5 years of ups and downs and wildness at NC State. Not even just on the football field with the change in NIL and the portal and everything else. I'm like, man, Dave needs that.
You only got me 4.
So hopefully you like beer flavored beer.
I do.
It goes well in a red Solo cup and a cigar. So
Good.
hopefully that'll be cracked at some point. Look, we've talked to you for a long time.
13. You're 13?
13. Yeah.
We don't know each other, but I get a general sense of how you've operated over the last 13 years. I got to imagine that going into this season, this is more your speed. Nobody's really talking about NC State. Everybody's talking about some other stuff. After last year, maybe people have just kind of moved on. But that seems to be where you really do your best work. Is that an accurate description?
Yeah, I think, being a team that has a lot to prove, wanting to showcase who we are and knowing that we're under the radar, I guess you would say, is a good place to be. I definitely like not having to answer to all those questions. We have the same expectations. That's what's,
Sure.
Every year coaches have expectations to win, right? But not having to answer those questions and more with these players. It's a humble and hungry, coachable team, and that's what I like.
Do you recognize college football since you started?
It's it's a lot different, man. I mean, 31 years or 32, whatever it is now, the last 3 have been really different in a lot of ways. And it's not, people think it's getting better. It's not. It's still lacking leadership in some key areas. And I think for me, it's just learning how to be who I want to be in this space, and football has always been a relational thing. Mm-hmm. It's now also a transactional thing. And in order for me to keep peace in my mind and in my heart, it's still going to be relational. We're going to have the transactional side, no doubt. But for me as a coach, I love being around these kids. I love building chemistry with my coaches and competing. And so that's where I'm leaning in. And, whether that gets me kicked out of the game or not, I'm going to try to have the most fun I can doing what I do.
I think it was 10 years ago you said to me, it was after one of the Boston College games. We were over at the practice facility, and you said, I can't wait to be 55 and retired and working at a bait shop, and I get to second guess all of your decisions.
Dave's going to be in the YouTube comment section like, hey, guy, I don't know about that take.
Yeah.
Now you're 53. How do you see this thing playing out here in the next few years?
It's 1 year at a time, man.
It is.
Yeah, it's 1 year at a time. Like I'm in a different place probably than other guys. Losing my father to Alzheimer's at a pretty young age, I don't look at 65 and retiring as good, because he retired in his 60s and 3 years later didn't know his name, So I'm going to look at what I do every year. I want to do the best that I can for these players, for these coaches, and for NC State. And if I feel like at some time I'm not that guy, then maybe it is time to go run the bait shop, you know what I mean? And that's okay.
Yeah.
But, I got to do the best I can while I'm doing it. And right now I'm still having fun, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Okay. I guess that's the key part of it, right? I mean, because you think about MJ Morris in the situation that you had to deal with 2 years ago. Heck, think about, we were talking yesterday with Al Riveron. The play with Grayson McCall last year is the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Me too.
In my whole entire life around football. And shook me, and I'm all the way up. I was up in the press box. You know what I mean? Like, that's a guy you cared about. That's a guy that, is your player that, you have a love for. And I know that had to be hard for you. And then, I've been talking a lot this offseason about a player like Brandon Cisse, to me, was like a Bradley Chubb, was a Jalen Samuels, was a, Garrett Bradbury. You have had a knack for finding players who other schools don't want.
Yeah.
And developing them not only into all ACC players, but into NFL players and first-round picks, in the case of Bradbury and Chubb. So when I saw that this offseason, I thought to myself, this one feels like, and I'm not trying to call Brandon out, he made a decision that he needed to make, but that one felt like one that would kind of cut you a little bit, that, hey, now wait a second, this is the exact kind of player I've been able to make a career out of finding and developing.
No, you're right. You have to kind of wrap your head around the fact that you're going to lose some guys that you shouldn't lose. And at the end of the day, they're making decisions for them and their family that you don't have to agree with. It's okay to think they're wrong. And it's okay for them to think they're right. And you're right. Those are the types of kids over the years that we've identified and really beat nobody to get. And now they become all conference and in some cases NFL players. But it doesn't mean that the other 124 guys in the locker room aren't still there.
Yeah.
And you just got to move on, and that's easier said than done sometimes. So, we're going to keep doing what we do. It's harder in this space. My formula of identifying guys that are tough, that have the measurables, and making them into really good players through development and mentoring and leadership won't change, and we will lose some of them because that's just the way it is these days.
I was happy for you that C.J. Bailey is back this year. He's an interesting story in the sense that he played with the best player in the country.
Yeah.
On maybe one of the best high school teams in the country down in Florida.
Right.
And you go down there, again, maybe somebody who's a little bit under – I don't know how he was under the radar playing with Jeremiah Smith, but just how were you able to kind of land him and kind of really get in there before – or see something before a Miami or an Ohio State did?
I think Kurt Roper and Joker Phillips deserve a lot of credit with C.J. Bailey. They saw him because the head coach doesn't get to go recruit like we used to. They saw him live a couple times and fell in love with him and saw all the things that you're seeing now. Once I got a chance to meet him and feel his personality and his love for football, it was easy for me to agree with him. And the live evaluation is so important in identifying the players you want. And our guys do a really good job of that. And so, they deserve that credit. We were able to get on him earlier than other people.
Okay.
And that mattered to him and his family that we believed in him and in some ways validated him, where now other people were coming back in to recruit him after us.
Yeah. That's got to be frustrating, too.
Two things before we let you go. Me, simple football enthusiasts, I see offensively it's a little tilted that way. You have continuity. You have CJ. You've made some effort. You got to me
Hollywood, Joly, Noah.
Defensively last year, it wasn't what you expect or anybody expect at NC State. You say it's year to year. When you go into this year, clearly you want to get better on defense. I know what your mindset is. But do you also change the mindset a little bit and you see what you have on offense and maybe with a new offensive coordinator and everything else, thinking, hey, maybe we go out and win 45-28 or something like that. Does that change at all? Do you say, all right, let's let this offense cook a little bit more? How do you process that?
Well, I've always wanted our offense to cook.
Okay. He doesn't want to give up the 28.
I mean, to me,
at that point, I said 28. I said the bad word. Like, I'm not giving up 28, though.
If you look at our offense last year, we were terrible in the first half.
Okay.
We were one of the highest scoring offenses in the country in the fourth quarter and one of the worst scoring offenses in the first half. And so we got to be a better first half offense more than anything, finish more drives with points. And, we got to get back to stopping people, too. I believe in it. Complementary football is what I believe in. And I want our defense to stop people. I want our offense to score more points, period. And, I thought I was doing that when I brought Coach and I in, bringing in a guy that was going to do that, score more points. And we weren't able to make it work. Losing our quarterback the way we did was a tough part of that equation. But, this offense, we hope, because there is some talent on it. But we got to get them to play together. And that's the thing last year. I felt like we were a talented group of guys that just didn't function well together.
Last question, and this is big picture related to the rivalry with North Carolina. One thing I will always give you credit. I've been consistent about this on the radio and in podcast form. You get it. You get what that game is, and it's clear on the football field. Win or lose, it's clear.
Your players get it too.
Your players get it. It's clearly translated to them. I get the sense that Carolina coaches who come through don't. Do you get that sense that they don't get it, and that's an advantage for you?
I don't care what they get.
Okay.
I focus on what our guys need to understand, and I've always understood rivalry games. And they're meaningful to the fans, they're meaningful to me, and they're meaningful in our locker room, and that won't stop.
Dave Doeren, NC State head football coach. Appreciate the time.
All right, thank you, guys.
Enjoy
Go
the beer.
Pack.
Now sitting with us at kickoff on the Heaster Automotive Group microphone is Justin Joly from NC State. So we were looking at the roster, and there's a little $ under your picture on the roster. Are you aware of this?
No.
To be fair, everyone has it.
Everybody has. Not everybody. Okay. Not everybody.
Oh, not everybody.
Not everybody.
Okay.
You're one of your teammates, of several teammates, that has a $ in there. So like, what is this $? So I clicked on it. You don't know about this. Okay. So it's this thing called influencer.
Oh.
So if Joe and I wanted to enter into some sort of NIL arrangement with you where you would wear, I don't know, one of our T-shirts to promote the podcast around NC State's campus, that's how we would set it up. But you didn't know about that.
No, but if anyone out there wants to do it, hey, just let me know.
I mean, we can negotiate right now. But you have a guy though, right?
No, I don't.
You don't have a guy, really?
No.
I thought everybody had a guy now.
No, not everyone has a guy, man. You know, Lamar Jackson has his mom.
Hey, it's fair. Right. That was very sexist of us. Maybe you have a woman who's handling it.
That's a very good point.
Because you had a little re-up there. You had a little. You needed a raise after last year.
You were the second leading.
You played a little hard to get after.
A little something.
Hey man, but you deserved it under the market, right?
I mean, appreciate it.
I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I'm saying like you said, hey man, this was my role last year. I feel like you could probably have a bigger role this year. Just tell us a little bit about having CJ Bailey back and the way he was able to come on last year after such a crazy, I've never seen anything like what happened to Grayson McCall in that Wake Forest game. It had to be difficult for you guys to kind of process as well. But, just having CJ in tow, and I know you have a new offense this year, but something tells me we'll recognize a lot of it.
I would say, CJ, he really stepped up. Obviously I know where he came from high school wise. It was like, hey man, it's your time. I know you might be unexpected, but you're gonna come in here, you're gonna dominate, and you're gonna need our help, and we're gonna help you. So it was like, it wasn't him going into it by himself. It was like he had the whole team like, hey, we believe in you and we got faith in you. Whatever you do, just know we got your back.
We've been around NC State plenty, and it seems that, especially with Dave Doeren, your head coach, this is the kind of season lead up that he likes. Nobody's talking about you. It's probably what you like, right?
Honestly, not to be mean, but it doesn't really matter what people think as long as it's just in the building is what we think. We know what we're capable of and what we want as a team. So either way, we don't worry about the outside noise. We worry about the noise inside. All
right. So internally, I got to imagine that how things ended against ECU, and then you get to see ECU right out of the gate this season. Motivation needed, no discussions. You all know the assignment.
Yeah, we know what to do. That's all I'm gonna say on it.
Okay.
I feel like you got a speed run last year of the true NC State experience. Like, because you played against State at UConn, which Dave likes to do. When somebody has a good game against them, he'll be like, "Oh, they'll come play for me. I like this guy." And so, obviously, a lot of retooled parts last offseason. People were very excited. And then I mentioned the Grayson injury and the change to CJ. But you guys had to bounce back just to get to that bowl game. Like you guys had to rally at the end of the year to get there. So that it really is the true NC State experience, getting some of those lows, but dealing with those lows and kind of finishing the regular season at least on a high note.
Yeah, no, I would say that we shouldn't have that same type of experience this year. We're going to go for all the highs and all the highs that we can get.
I mean, that would not be NC State, though.
I'm not worried about the NC State experience. I'm worried about winning games.
Yeah. No, you guys have a chance to kind of change that. What have you seen with Kurt and how he might be different from Robert in how the offense is structured, because we've all Dave's had different offense coordinators. We've all kind of seen the offense have a similar structure no matter who's the OC. But how has Kurt kind of put his stamp on what you've seen in the offense this offseason?
I would say Coach Rowe, he's got a lot of passion. You might think that he's like 20 years old, the way he'd be running and yelling on the field. He'd be excited. He'd be like, yeah, man, let's do it. Let's score some points on the defense, And having that, you've known him like an OC that has enough energy. He's like, yeah, man, I could go out there and do it too if he needed to, but he can't because obviously he's not in the pass. But having that is like, yeah, now you know what? We're doing it for a reason. We can go out there and dominate.
It's interesting. NC State's calling card has always been defense, tight games, that kind of stuff. Last year, offense, I thought, was ahead of where your defense was. Not a characteristic defensive year for NC State. Has there been a mindset change in the building about you all have to help each other, I get that, but is there more of an emphasis on you included some dudes on offense, and you got a QB coming back, which is a rarity in the ACC, to have that continuity, where there's almost more expected out of you if you're going to have a successful season? Does that kind of come through?
Honestly, there has been like a main focus on the defense during the season, or at the school, but here now, we want to score points.
Yeah.
We would love to run up the scoreboard, and
you guys don't do that. I was going to say that's uncharacteristic for NC State, but I like your mindset.
I would like to change the characteristics of NC State. So
perfect.
I want our defense to have shutouts, and I want us to run up as many points as we want, man.
All right. So, how many Bill Belichick questions have you received so far?
None until now, because I feel you're going to ask me one.
No, it's interesting because I thought again, sometimes I misread these things. With Belichick being here, it's like there's going to be a circus when he finally shows up to do a bunch of different things. What I was curious about, from an adult standpoint, we know what Belichick is, we know who he is, we know the Super Bowl success and all that kind of stuff, and it's all kind of weirdly processing the fact that he's at North Carolina of all places. But from a player's perspective, how do you see that or care at all of what's going on?
Nah, obviously you have to give Coach Belichick his flowers because he's done a lot. But football is football, man. I'm going out there to hoop. End all be all. So it's like, that's cool. You the coach from UNC. I got my coach at NC State. I'm worried about my building. You worry about yours.
So this is, again, not to look ahead, but obviously you want to have that killer instinct. Totally understand this. And we had talked to Duke's quarterback, Darian Mensah, about this. And I'm like, I'm not trying to put you out there, but I'm guessing in the back of your mind, you're not going to tell your friends, hey, man, did you see me carve up Belichick's defense? So I'm guessing there's in the back of your mind, you're thinking, man, I tell you what, I'm going to tell my friends, you see me? You see me break free? You see me break that defense? It's got to be in your mindset, right?
At the end, hey, like I said, man, I'm a ball. Hooping is hooping.
All right.
When it happens, when it happens.
I like that. No, I like that mentality, man.
How long did it take you to kind of get a feel for the lay of the land when it comes to Carolina, Duke, Wake Forest, maybe even ECU? Because that ECU game was contentious.
Yeah, there's always.
Were you surprised at all?
No, honestly, not really. I know how that in-state rivalry gets. There's going to be a lot of tension because who the owner of the state, who the guys, who the people look up to, who's a representative of North Carolina, and that's always how it is. So I understand that there's always going to be tension no matter what between Wake Forest, Duke, UNC, and East Carolina.
I'm about to impress you with my insider knowledge. You ready?
I'm listening.
Okay. How's your quadricep or your hamstring?
My hamstring's amazing.
Okay, good. He got hurt in the secret scrimmage for the people.
Wait, what secret
and
scrimmage?
People
We can't talk about this.
It was an NIL event, and I got 14 different texts. Joly just went down on the second play of the game, and I'm like, guys, we've got 8 months until the opener. As long as he didn't snap his fibula, we're okay.
You're also probably thinking, I don't really need to be out here anymore now, do I?
Yeah.
Right.
I ain't got much to say no more.
He knows he can't talk about those things, but I did impress you.
You call me off guard.
Justin, Joly, hey, man, we appreciate the time. Thanks for hanging out.
Of course.
Best of luck this season, man.
Thank you so much.
Sitting down with us at ACC Kickoff in Charlotte is head coach at Duke. He is Manny Diaz. Thanks for making the time. Last year, you kind of went on a riff joking about the fact that you're back in the ACC and you were presented with a hell of a schedule. You got to see State, you got to see Carolina, you got Wake, you got Miami. You're like, oh, thanks for the schedule. This year,
all your old friends.
That's right. This year, we're going to up the ante. Let's throw in a Bill Belichick on top of that too. So, just from the spectacle of it all, you have your job, but I'm sure that you, football guy, has to be going, well, that's kind of cool. That's going to be interesting to see and coach against. How have you processed all that?
Well, I think that's the new reality, right, in this league.
Yeah.
With so many teams. Because remember, think about it. Just a few years ago, we had divisions.
Right.
So you play the same 6 teams every year plus one, same 7 teams every year. You really only had one new opponent. So you felt like you were in a league, but you barely ever saw the other side. So now, we're going to Cal this year, playing Syracuse. I mean, there's just so many new faces on the schedule, which I do think keeps it fresh.
Okay. I want to go back to last year, and I want to tie back into your time with Miami as defensive coordinator in 2017. It's replicating turnover success, replicating winning in one-score games. You were 6-1 in one-score games last year. You go back to 2017, the turnover chain, those close games, winning the turnover battle. But that's not like a year-to-year type thing. So how do you look at how you won those games last year, impress on the team that almost like it's great that it broke our way last year, but we can't find ourselves in that situation again?
I'm going to answer in 2 ways.
Okay.
One, first, let's talk about turnovers. Because defensively in this system, we've been either leading the nation or at the top of the nation at multiple steps. So I do think there is a formula. People say turnovers are random. I don't quite agree with that.
Okay.
If you can leverage 3rd and long situations, and then with what we do on 3rd down, that's where most turnovers happen. I do think that's where we do a lot of our damage. But you got to eat your vegetables. You got to stop people on 1st down to get them into 3rd and long, right? So there's that aspect of it. The close game aspect of it, the one thing I did learn at Miami, this league creates close games. I think half the games last year were 8 points or less in this league, which is very similar to the National Football League. So we prepare for it. We talk through it. It's an expectation. We believe the game's going to be won in the last play of the game. So when we get into tight games, there's a comfort level. The staff is poised. The players are poised. We believe we're mentally tough. We believe we're the best conditioned team because of our strength coach. I'm sure that you won't find a coach in this a hotel that doesn't say the same thing.
For sure.
But our guys really believe it. And now, is 6-1 in one-score games sustainable? Well, here's the first way to do that. Let's not get into so many one-score games.
There's that.
Right? Let's just be a better team and get into fewer of those type of occasions. But invariably, we will, and our guys believe that we can come through.
The other thing that a lot of coaches will say, in terms of toughness and culture and things like that, you have your mantra. I mean, last year I heard in the sewers. It was kind of how you wanted to be. Why do you think you have that buy-in at Duke with what you're doing and how it paid off for you last year?
Right. You can take a shot at these things every time a coach says culture, right?
Sure.
But what I think is unique at Duke is that at Duke, the players set the culture.
Okay.
Right. And I think because different than any other school here in terms of how we recruit differently, we attract a certain type of young man. You put a bunch of like-minded people in a room together, they're going to set the culture. Culture is defined by what you're willing to do for other people. It's not what you put on a wall or whatever. It's like, what are you willing to do? Culture is an action. It's a verb. Our guys believe in discipline. They believe in hard work. They believe in sacrifice. They're so close because they're so connected. They're so like-minded. I think that's the culture. And what I saw last year, I saw us playing teams that looked like they were a bunch of independent contractors out there. And I saw our guys in the second half of those games really fighting hard for each other. That almost sounds like Hollywood football old school, but it's still true. The best team wins, and I thought last year we had an outstanding team.
I want to say we told Bill O'Brien that he was to blame for Bill Belichick being the coach at North Carolina. I want to say you're to blame for North Carolina really investing and re-upping the way that they have. Because as you know, nothing happens in the triangle in a vacuum. And I think a lot of people were surprised, myself included last year, but the level of investment that you guys have financially in the football program, especially people who've been around here for a long time. I mean, when you were at Florida State, when you were at State, that wasn't the case.
It was different.
Right.
You know?
Of course it was.
And so now I really do think you guys are the primary reason Carolina said, we got to get off our ass and make a run at this thing.
Well, that's why I feel like the most fortunate guy here, because Duke is backing us to be a championship program. And as they told me when I was interviewing for the job, is that the Duke standard of excellence we should not be held to a different standard than men's basketball or women's basketball or soccer team or lacrosse. We're 10th in the Directors' Cup this past year. Duke wins at everything. We need to win at football, and then everybody knows, the elephant in the room. Football is what drives the TV contract. Yeah. Everybody knows now the ACC is paying out based off of football viewership. Yeah. So I feel, one, humble and fortunate to have the support, but two, I feel the obligation to produce the winning program, and whatever that makes everybody else in the triangle do, that just, listen, anything that raises the level of eyeballs on football in the triangle, I think is good for all of us.
I don't think people understand, and you're not going to answer this question, and it's fine, but Miami doesn't have as much money as people think. And you probably had more support at Duke than you did at Miami, because Miami forever ran through coaches because they had all these great recruits. They didn't care. They didn't necessarily care. They thought they could just win forever based on the U and getting every guy out of South Florida. You could just win football games.
Now you sound like my dad.
So so I think you're in a better situation than a lot of people realize, and I think you realize it because of all of your different stops in the ACC. That's my editorializing. We met Darian Mensah today. What an amazing, impressive young man. My gosh.
Yeah. And that was really, certainly the first thing when he goes in the portal, we see the film, looks like a guy that could be a real upgrade for us. But when we did our homework, and again, this is speed dating, you find out who he is. And I keep going back to what I said about our culture and our locker room set by our players.
Yeah.
He connects with them at such a higher level. He is one of them. They respect the hell out of him, and now they believe that he gives us a chance to win every weekend.
It was interesting, going back to the Duke culture and the expectations for everybody. One thing that I find interesting, we'll close on this, is almost like an integration of all the sports programs. Mensah, I've been to a lot of Duke basketball games. Usually it's a high school recruit. The fans, the crazy see that recruit, come sit with us, right? Mm-hmm. Never seen a football player do that. It happened with Mensah.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's all part of the sell, man. Like, how do you not utilize that as a part of the sell to come to Duke?
There's no doubt.
Is that something that is set forth? Is that just something that has naturally happened? How does that work?
I think it's naturally happened.
Okay.
I think it's the idea of Duke is becoming an everything school.
Okay.
That the football and basketball, rising tide floats all boats. But I think it's a student body. Remember now that all they've witnessed is 16 wins over 3 losses at Wallace Wade since their time at Duke. We have a chance to graduate a class. I'm not talking about athletes, of just Duke students that all they know is winning.
I didn't think about that.
And so football has become the fun, cool thing to do. I know we're storming. We have storming the field, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a rising senior at Duke, you've stormed the field 2 or 3 times every time. You know what I mean? So I think it's just that association of like, oh, okay, listen, whatever it was 20 years ago. If I'm 21 years old, that means nothing to me.
Of course not.
Right? And so I think it's fun to be able to write a new history.
Manny Diaz, we appreciate the time as always. Good luck this season. It'll be another fun one.
Guys, thanks for having me on.
Now, I know you're going to want to tell me that Tulane's team success was, like the biggest part of last year for you. I know that's the stock answer, but if I'm not mistaken, you made a pretty big jump on the college football video game in your rating. Is that right?
Yeah, I wasn't even in the game when it first came out.
So at the beginning of the year, you're all jacked up and you're not even in the game?
Yeah, I'm excited to play. I got to get on Tulane's roster, and I'm not there. So.
Did you create a player that was you?
I did. I didn't do any.
You didn't bother?
Oh,
okay.
He was just mad.
I was just like, all right, I'm not going to play this game. But no, yeah, I wasn't even in the game at the start, and then they updated it like about 3 weeks in the season, and I think I was like 79 or something like that. So, yeah. Big jump for sure.
So, like to Joe's point, you're in the video game now. Your numbers at Tulane put you in a spot to be sought after in the transfer portal, right? And before we sat down, you'd said something about your team, right? How does that work for us? We're so used to, all right, you have your parents, you have people that are close to you. You didn't have like an actual team around you, like on the business side of things. This is like standard operating procedure for a quarterback because you're in high demand. So you have a team. When did that come together?
My team?
Yeah.
About like halfway through the season. A couple guys at Young Money. Noah Reisenfeld, who's my agent, he talked to my mom, talked to him a few times on the phone, and he took my family to college game day in Oregon.
Okay.
So I got to meet all of them, and my mom thought he was a great guy. So that's really when it all started. And then I've got like Audi Vanguard and a bunch of people on the Young Money side who've helped me out with my journey. So super appreciative of them.
So what was it about Duke, Manny Diaz, that made that decision for you?
I think you just said it, Manny Diaz, the lead head coach. He's somebody when he talks, like, you're listening. Like, he's like a silent killer, but when he's talking, you make sure to listen. And then just the opportunity to compete in an elite conference like this, like the ACC. I think you can go anywhere, any year. And I think, who wouldn't want to play quarterback in this offense? Like, you spread people out, you throw it vertical, and it's a dream.
So here's the thing, man. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid for you at this media event because I think we're your first interview of the day.
You are, yes.
Are you ready for the Bill Belichick questions today?
I don't know. I don't know about that, but we'll see. I hope so.
Well, the reason why I bring it up, because I find this kind of interesting, from your position at quarterback, right? And it kind of falls in the trajectory of how you were coming out of high school. You weren't in the video game. Now you're in the ACC. You've got a team. And then now, like, oh, wait a minute. I got a QB. I got to run an offense against a Bill Belichick defense. Yeah. Like, you got to love that, right?
Love it, for sure. I mean, he's one of the greats in the game, and so just I want to be the same thing. I want to go be the greatest, and so I feel like there's no other way than going through him. So
right.
I think that'll be a super exciting matchup later in the season.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a situation where, I mean, I'm not trying to project here, but let's say you do have a game. You just ball out. I mean, I'm sure your friends are never going to hear the end of it. They're like, hey, did you see how I carved up Bill?
Right. I mean, I try to stay humble, but I mean that's on the bucket list for sure.
Of course.
I was going to say, one of the new dynamics in NIL is people get paid earlier in their career, and some people, quite frankly, we've seen this in the Triangle, lose their thirst, lose their hunger. But from the sounds of it, you're not satisfied at all. I mean, it sounds like you're still pissed off about the video game. I kind of like that.
Yeah. I kind of always just kept that mentality, just growing up. I feel like you can't ever be satisfied with what you do. And that's, just comes with, I feel like it really comes from my twin. Me and my twin just to be ultra competitive about everything. She plays soccer at Oregon right now. And we just used to argue about everything and compete with everything we do. And so I've just been ultra competitive ever since I've grown up.
So you got called out by the crazies, did you not?
I did, yeah.
They did the whole. I only see that with basketball players, by the way.
Yeah.
All the years that I've gone to Cameron to cover games and things like that, I'll see a high school basketball recruit coming through, and they're like, "Come sit with us," right?
Yeah.
You got called over.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal at Duke, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I didn't even know they were talking to me at first. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome," and then they're like, "Oh, Darian." I was like, "Oh,
all right."
That's me. I'm like, yeah. So I went over there, cheered on the team. I think we were playing Eastern Illinois.
Yeah, it was early.
Yeah, it was early.
Yeah.
But it was an awesome experience.
Yeah.
It definitely lives up to the hype for sure.
Excellent.
What kind of crash course in ACC football or the state of North Carolina have you done to try to get yourself prepared? Obviously, we talked about Belichick. That's kind of an easy one, right? But what do you know about State or Wake or even Duke's own history? Did you do any homework? Yeah.
Not a bunch of homework, to be honest. I'm just really trying to immerse myself in the culture at Duke. I feel like what makes Duke special is the people there. And, my teammates have done a great job welcoming me there. And I feel like they make me feel like I feel like I fit in there because they're wired the same way I am. So.
Okay. So who's got you excited on the offensive side of the ball to work with? Like, who are you excited to be playing with?
Quayshawn Brown, for sure. He's number 7 this year. Samir Hagan's number 2. And then we got 2 transfer cats, Cooper Barkay from Harvard and Andrea Anthony from Oklahoma. I think those 4.
Did you just call a player from Harvard a cat?
Cat.
He's a cat from Harvard.
Like cat, not a cat, but
no, I know. Like,
but
it sounds like you're saying that he's really good, and I'm being skeptical. He is what I'm doing right now.
You'll see. He's just a.
All right, Darian, man, it's a quarterback. Duke, we appreciate the time, man.
Thank you guys.
And best of luck this year, man. I'm looking forward to watching you. We got some high level QB play here in the Triangle that I'm excited to watch, and you're part of that. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group microphone from Duke, offensive lineman, he is Brian Parker. Hey, man, like in modern college football, you're not supposed to be at a place for this long, right?
Yeah, not usually.
But it's like you and your unit are like, you guys have been here, right?
My whole class that came in 4 years ago now is still here. Pretty much everybody, especially all the starters, players, contributors, nobody's left.
Yeah.
Which has been a big thing. I think Duke does it for itself. It's such a prestigious university, and it has its own draw. You get to play Power 4 football against everybody you ever grew up wanting to play against.
Yeah.
And you get a top degree that will help you 40 years down the road.
See, it's funny. I was joking with Giglio about this. I was actually joking with some Duke people. And when I knew you were sitting down, I'm like, Duke offensive linemen have a track record at Radio Row of being absolute joys to talk to. So this tracks. This absolute tracks. So I guess my curiosity is, the unit's the same, but your quarterback's new. We talked to Darian earlier.
What a joy. Speaking of joy.
He's hype.
Holy smokes. Impressive.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So from your perspective, what have you seen? What do you see with Darian? What makes you hype about this upcoming season?
I mean, from the first time we met him, when he came on his visit, we went to the Incarnate World basketball game. I've never seen, recruits will come in, act all tough, and, be pretty quiet. I mean, he was the nicest guy, shook everybody's hand, was so excited to be there, really wanted to meet everybody. We went out to dinner after, and, it was like I knew the guy for 10 years already. It was fun. And so that was exciting. And then when Coach showed us his film after, we were like, let's go.
All right.
And then ever since then, he's been a great friend. We've gone on spring break together. We all hang out together. That's the big thing. I live with the center and tight end. Every Friday night, everybody comes over. We hang out. Mm-hmm. It's pretty funny. One of our offensive linemen got a Wii, so we've been playing Mario Kart. pulled that one.
Do the bowling and the golf?
I was gonna say that's a vintage console.
Yeah,
man.
we got a big 86-inch TV, and everybody's over there.
Now I gotta ask, who's the one who absolutely dominates in Wii bowling?
Micah Sahaki or our new running back from App State, Anderson Castle. Those guys are wee menaces.
It's all in the wrist, man.
Yeah, it's all in the wrist. I'm I used to be so much better at Mario Kart growing up, and now I'm coming in
Do you use the steering wheel?
No, we don't have any steering wheels.
Oh, okay.
That's probably it. That's
you know what it is. Because look, man, I got a 17-year-old, 14-year-old, right? And Joe knows about. I play video games. I still do. I got a Switch 2. Been playing the new Mario Kart, all that. You get older, you have less time. The twitch reflexes might work on the line, but if you're not on it every day, it escapes you.
You forget the shortcuts. You forget all the special tools.
Yep.
I just press go and turn around and hope I win.
You know what though? There's always the blue shell, dude.
Yeah, blue shell or the rocket is my friend.
Oh, the rocket always comes in clutch.
12 to 6.
Real quick with that.
You guys last year, and I'm sure you've already heard this a lot, you were 6-1 in one-score games.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are going to tell you, well, you can't do that again. Math says it probably won't work out that way, right? But I feel like you guys really embrace that kind of identity of, we don't have to win a certain way.
Yeah.
We just have to win.
Yeah, just win our
Solve
way.
The problem.
Yeah,
Calm.
What'd you guys call it? In the sewer?
Yeah, well, that's our workout.
Okay.
In the sewer, Coach Feely. That's our man. He's going to put you through it, and the sewer makes you tough. And so we know that if we can make it through that as a team, and not get divided and guys get frustrated, then we can really go through anything. And then we take that into camp. And Coach Diaz is huge on situational football, practicing in camp, 2-minute drills, everything. So you kind of get used to that. Okay, well, I got to take 13 pass snaps in a row against Wes over there, who's rushing to get the win, and both sides are trying to win.
I have a knack for being a jerk. I apologize.
Yeah.
6-1, but something tells me the one is the one that bothers you right now.
Yeah.
Because you had that game.
Yeah. The SMU game.
Speaking of every probability and statistic.
How many turnovers in that game?
6 turnovers.
Yeah.
And that one hurts. That one hurts a lot.
So I'm curious. We're interview number 3 for you?
Yes.
Okay. The previous 2 interviews, were you asked about Bill Belichick?
I was not.
What?
No, it was a Clemson, so it was a more Clemson
Oh, well,
focused.
I was going to say, I know what they're focused on.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe I'm preparing you for the rest of your afternoon or the rest of your day with the Bill Belichick questions. I'm curious. We understand Bill is the defensive guy, right? Do you watch film? Do you look at stuff that you have to recognize that maybe he might bring something different that you might not be used to in college? How do you feel your preparation for somebody that might be a little bit more exotic to college football than what you've been used to?
Yeah. Film is definitely a big part, but it's also looking at his personnel,
okay.
what he's got to work with. He's not at the National Football League anymore, so he's kind of got to mold it around the weapons he has. Recruiting's a little different than drafting, so that's definitely a huge part of it. But yeah, it's nice that it's a little farther into the season for us, so we'll get to have a taste of
You'll
what
have a better
doing.
idea.
Because you can look up Patriots film from forever ago. You can look. I mean, it's hard. You don't know what he's going to do. He's going to stick with that. He's going to change it up because he's in college now.
Yeah.
So that's the nice part for us is that we don't play him week 1 or 2. We get to see what he's throwing out there by week 6, 7, 8.
Have you thought about getting into sports media?
I'm trying to go into finance. That's I'm doing this econ degree. With
That's
finance.
smart, actually. That's a much. You don't want to be like us two jabronis here, schlubbing it, talking into a podcast microphone. But no, like as you talked about,
Joe.
I know. Yeah, never forget, what was it, Laken Tomlinson? I remember when he sat down years ago. I'm like, oh, dude, okay, yeah, man, you're on your way. No, it's just the way they're like, yeah, recruiting is different from the NFL. I'm like, Brian sounds like he's been workshopping some takes. I like it.
Just trying to figure it out. Every advantage you can get on the field,
Yeah, makes sense.
What did you make of Manny last year? Did you know that much about him before he came over, Coach?
I actually grew up a huge Penn State fan.
Okay.
So I knew the defense and how great that was at Penn State. So I was really kind of ecstatic. Our athletic director, Nina King, is awesome, and she actually came into the team room and was like, "What do you guys want in a coach?" And she really listened. We fought to get Coach Feely to stay. We're like, we need this guy to stay. This is what has turned this program around, and he's imperative that we have him in our offseason program. And then we were like, we want a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
And he's been awesome. He's a player's coach. He's a true leader of men. And his halftime speech at the Carolina game last year is a perfect example. He knows how to keep the team. He's invested. He talks with the team. On the way to practice, he's going to talk to somebody new every day. So he knows the team better than any coach I've been around in college. And so I think that's huge as in the playing the chess match that is college football.
We don't have any FCC rules, so you could tell us what he said at halftime of the Carolina game if you'd like.
It's on the Duke Media.
Okay.
Yeah, it's out there. That's a little bit of the Miami Cuban came out.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. Brian, we appreciate the time. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.
And I'll track you down later today to see how many Bill Belichick questions you actually got.
I'm interested to see.
I'm curious. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap up for today's very interesting ACC kickoff.
We had a good day today.
I would agree. Big thanks to everybody who's consumed our content at ACC Kickoff. We got more stuff coming your way on our Instagram and TikTok pages, some reels, all that kind of fun stuff. And you can go engage with us there. More importantly, we want you to engage with us on the OG listener survey. Hey, Joe. Well, here's a great Hey, Joe opportunity. Tell us what you think about the podcast. For real. So go to oviesandgiglio.com. You'll find a link to our survey. A couple questions about who you are, what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show, what you think the show is missing. All things that we're looking for in terms of feedback so that we can continue to provide the content y'all want in year 3 of the OG media experience. So go to oviesandgiglio.com and fill out that survey today. We got prize packs. We got 3 prize packs for people who fill it out when we wrap this thing up a little bit later on in the summer. All right, Joe, please don't fall asleep on the way home.
I'm going to need to stop at the Starbucks.
You need some caffeine, my dude.
Yep.
Absolutely. We will see y'all next week.